Welcome to the channel, viewers. You're with Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia, actually. Thank you for joining me. Just a quick video on, excuse me, I've got this throat. It's going around. Thank you for joining me on a quick video of covert narcissism, when you're being covertly narcissized, and covert emotional incest. So you possibly have met somebody on a dating site. I would say usually now people are too lazy to go out and walk up to people and ask them if they're spoken for, and you've been invited back to their place. You're welcomed. You might turn up with some sweet and sour pork, or maybe some Thai, depending on what the arrangement is. You're not sure how long your visit will last for. You've never met this person before, and you are not quite sure how the visit will go. So you get some fried rice with the meal, and you request that the person please be hungry when you turn up, hoping that the address that they've given you is real. A lot of people will give people false addresses and say that they're 50-year-old and they could be 65-year-old, or this type of thing. And therefore you meet this person and kicks off pretty well. You've done all the work on yourself. You've come into the zoo dating scene, the zombie world, and you meet this person and they appear to be okay on the surface. They got children living with them, which is alarm bells straight away. They're a single mother and they smoke. You forgot to turn on the filter for smoking, and these people smoke. So it starts out all right, and in the back of your mind you're saying, well, I think I should leave, but one thing leads to another, and you're there for half an hour, and the next thing, you and this person's getting on all right, and then you kick off a relationship jumping forward. The minions seem to be keeping a safe distance, but you do notice that she is in some way similar to Alice out of the Brady Bunch. And this isn't just one person, I've had several of these, so if that particular person might be listening, no, you're not the only one. You're one of millions that are like this. You're not the only single mother around, and they've all got the same basic attributes. So the relationship starts as usual with the love bombing, the applauding, the grounding and assuring, the confidence, the gratefulness, the thankfulness, the effort, the confidence, as I said, the effort, the assurance, the inspiration. It's all there. Everything's 100% fine. You're going to visit them, they're coming to visit you, to and fro, and everything's in what appears to be a good balance. But you don't realize that this person's sharing the information of the relationship with her gremlins, with her minions, with her spawn, who really have nothing to do with the business of the relationship. But this is what a lot of these single mothers do. They have nobody else to turn to. They've fallen out with everybody around them. They identify themselves with people that are disabled or of the unfortunate side of life. A lot of these people are martyrs and victims, and so they get a sense of identity by rescuing people that are what appear to be less fortunate than them, but are just downright lazy and preying on the system. So that's where they find their balance, with the people that are not willing to do the work to bring a good life for themselves. The alcoholics, the drug addicts, the people that are medicated, and the cocaine users, and all these fools and clowns that bring trouble on themselves and end up with nothing. Excuse me, viewers. But you don't know any of this, and this person struck gold. And you're not aware of any of this. You've spent months and months, years, decades doing work on yourself to be able to communicate, present yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and you decide that you'll give this person a go. They've got the thumbs up, they've given you the thumbs up, and you've decided that yes, we'll see if we can work this out. You have no idea of their history, what they've been through, what they've done to themselves, the abuse they've allowed themselves to be subject to. They've got no self-esteem. The little bit of self-esteem that they've got is just superficial. They live in fear. They're critical of people. They don't trust people. They don't believe in people. They have no self-consciousness of what they do. They're usually on substances themselves. Most of these people will be addicted to nicotine, doing damage to their respiratory system on an hourly basis, except if they're asleep. Some of these people will wake up and smoke during the night. I've seen what this does. I've seen how this ruins the lives of people. I watched my stepfather, as I say, I watched with my own two eyes. Excuse me, viewers. This grown man who had no idea on how to look after himself. He just wanted to drink and smoke. I remember the ashtrays, the empty bottles. When they'd empty the bottles into the bin, you'd hear the clanging of the glass. Horrible sound. Wicked, demonic sound when you hear people emptying the bottles, the alcohol, empty alcohol bottles into the bin. You just go, there's another person who's destroying themselves. Fucking Jesus. Yeah, and sorry about that, viewers. Somebody just stepped out and nearly got run over by a car. And you'll hear the clanging of the bottles being put into the bin. No guilt, no shame, no conscience whatsoever. And this goes on and on and on and on. One cigarette after another. More dope, more alcohol, more tablets, more excuses, and they're just wearing at their psyche like it doesn't matter. They run on lust and desire. A lot of these people have sexual addiction. They'll sleep with anyone they can if it's convenient for them, and if they can use and abuse that person and toss them to the side, that suits them even further. If they do get mixed up with people that have got some standards, they do find it difficult to behave themselves in a way in which is going to keep the relationship, as they're not used to it. They don't understand the principles of somebody that knows how to live to produce in their life. They don't understand it. They have no clue of it. It confuses them. They mess things up, and you find that you're having to literally guide them, teach them how to function in a relationship with you, and you find that confusing and frustrating, as though you're dealing with somebody that's never been in a relationship before. You begin to listen to their stories of how they've been abused by their partner and neglected, They were never given any money, and if they were, it was a minimal amount. They didn't know what their partner was making. They had to provide for the children. They weren't allowed to buy shoes for them and clothes for them. Oh yeah, it's the same old story every time. The partner gave them sex, but it was really not what they wanted, but they did it out of sufferance, and then the person ended up with ED, and you hear all these stories. And usually it's the women that have driven these people away from them. I know, because I told them to go myself after a while. They don't know how to resolve. They have no idea on how to resolve things to keep the intimacy in the relationship. They wear out the intimacy in the relationship because they don't know how to resolve anything. They don't know how to be healthy. They're unresolved with themselves. So how are they going to be resolved with you? They've lived a life of unresolved. Their children are unresolved. Their pets are unresolved. And it's just an emotional roller coaster ride that these people put themselves on as a way of communication. It's run on feelings and emotions, and there's no dedicated destiny. It's how you feel at that time. And that's your destiny. So these people might be, say, out, and they'll bump into somebody that looks like, is attractive to them, and the next thing they're in bed with them, and then they're tossing them to the side because they never liked the person to start with, but it was a form of supply, sexual supply. This then twists their minds even further, rises their shame and guilt higher. Their self-worth, they have none, and this gets passed on, this attitude gets passed on to the children who are watching this behaviour and wondering, is this really my parent? But that doesn't matter, because the children become the parents. The adult children become the parents in the relationship. The parents happy to exchange that responsibility with the children, but what you'll find with single mothers is they'll come home and have to shave their faces because they go to work like men and bring home the money to supply the children that aren't functioning properly and that are little victims. They're like little birds in a nest that can't fly, or they'll have a fly and then limp back to the nest, and the mother keeps patching them up. And some of these people never ever leave home. They stay with their mothers their whole lives. The mother likes that because it gives her a sense of security. It gives her a sense of identity. And these mothers have this mentality that, I've had two of these tell me this, that they feel like they owe these children their devoted service like a wife for the rest of their lives. They get in relationships and the partners won't stay around because they're going, I'm not sharing you with these grubs, because that's what they are. They're just spawn that haven't developed, and that's the way the mother wanted it. Because if she didn't want it that way, she would have made them develop, but it suited her to make excuses for them to be dysfunctional so that she would be guaranteed company. They know how to start relationships, and they know how to end relationships. They're masters at it. They know exactly what they're doing. And if you're too difficult for them, if you're above their class with standards and things, they'll find a way of either getting out of it or causing you to throw a reverse discard, which is where they'll treat you in a way in which you have had enough of them and you will discard them. They'll behave in a way in which they'll make you discard them. It's called a reverse discard, and they're experts at it. They know how to do this. They know how to cause you to get to a point where you discard them. This is what they do. It happens all the time. They know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and what the results will be. They do it without conscience. They're finished with you. They've had enough of you. They've got no intention of wanting to go any further with you. But the problem that they find sometimes is that people take to them. They won't let go. So then they bring in their minions, their flying monkeys, and their spawn come into action. And what they do is they triangulate the relationship so that they can slowly but surely build distance. Now, if you start operating in the truth, in the real truth of moral and integrity and things like this, and they don't want to bear it, because you'll find a lot of topics and subjects that you bring to these people they won't want to talk about. They'll oppose things like the vaccine and this kind of thing. The next thing they're having to get it, or they willfully get it and then regret it. They don't listen to advice. And when they stand up for themselves, everybody has to be involved. It's a big drama. They like to be grandized. They like to be praised. And if you mirror these people in the relationship, you won't have one, because you'll soon see the disintegration of their application to the relationship. They go into a zombie state. They have to numb out. They numb themselves out because, because they can't find a way to get out. If you're running at a high standard and you're giving them A-grade supply, as much as they want out of the relationship, they won't leave. They won't leave because the supply's too sweet. The supply's too good. And they know they may not never ever get it again. So they'll hang around in sufferance just to continue to get the supply. But what they don't realize is, whilst you're aware, these people are totally unaware of themselves. So you're watching this take place right in front of your eyes, and you're going, this person's really not even here. And you're wondering, by this time, the conflicts have started with the adult children. They don't want you around. They've found reason to incriminate you and assassinate your character, and they've had enough of watching their mother being looked after in a half-decent way. They've never seen this before. They're manifesting, they're backbiting, they're conceding against you, they're conspiring against you, they're trying to eliminate you from the relationship, and she's being constantly worked on behind the scenes to try and break her away from being with you. They're jealous, they'll deceive, they'll feign being sick, they'll feign complaints about you, they'll do everything they can in their power with every trick they know in the book, because they know her better than you do, to try and get her out of the relationship. And 90% of it you won't even know about. She'll isolate you from the children. She'll have to, because they're just misbehaving and demoralizing and humiliating her in front of everyone. I've never seen women so humiliated and demoralized as what these single mothers are by their adult children. My advice to you is, do not engage the children once they go into hostility and enmity. Just let them manifest and watch these people pull themselves apart. She'll keep coming for supply if the supply's good. If the supply's no good, she'll abort the relationship. She'll abandon and jettison the relationship, and this is where you probably are right now, sitting there wondering what the hell happened. How did that happen? Well, you didn't have self-awareness. You didn't have enough awareness of the relationship to realize that all this was going on behind your back. If you've got a good read on these things and how they work, you'll get her to go before she gets you to go, because they're in the escape mode before you know anything about it. They'll still sleep with you. You'll start to get little objections in the bedroom where they used to do certain things and enjoy certain things. They'll start to complain. You've got to be aware of all this. These are all signs that they're exiting, that they're going. And so once you see these signs, you have to act fast. And you have to be clear and give good reason as to why you're about to terminate this person. Because the least you can do is give them the reason why you've decided that they need to go. And the last two, with their children and they're going on, they were told to, and it wasn't very polite the way I asked them to leave, but they'll run you into the ground so heavily and so determinedly, right? They'll avoid the resolve to the expense of the relationship, and they'll have no conscience about it. What happens with unresolved when the children turn against you and they don't know how to solve it, or they don't want to solve it because they're enmeshed with their children and you're just a convenience for sex? What you'll find is they'll start to look outside the relationship for another person they can whinge to and solve with, and they'll blame you for the attitudes and the behaviours of their children. Even if you've done nothing wrong, you will get the blame. That's how these covert narcissists work. As hard as they try not to do it, if the relationship's failing, they've got to be able to return with some dignity and respect to the children. But what they've done up until this point, the whole time, they think you're stupid. You're watching them rebel against the parental guidance of their children. How contradictory does that sound? You're watching these covert narcissists rebel against the parental objections of their children to come and see you, and then you're sensing her rebellion against you by going back and wifing the adult children. She'll play the role of a wife, servant, Alice out of the Brady Bunch, to her adult children, all but having sex with them. That's how this works. So she's rebelling against you. She's rebelling against the parental guidance and objections of her children. And she's rebelling against herself because she doesn't want to be with the children, and she really, in a way, doesn't want to be with you. So what's the answer to that? Another person she can serve with. Now, a lot of these people are they're bisexual, they'll go both ways, and that's up to them. They might meet a friend, and the next thing they're self-serving with the friend. They're whinging about the children and you, the partner, to the friend, and having sexual intimacy with that friend, and then coming to have sex with you. Or they meet another bloke, an ex, an old flame, or maybe someone new that they've run into, and they'll whinge and whine to them about the children and yourself because they don't know how to resolve, and the next thing they're having sex with them. That's how affairs happen. That's how these people mess your life up if you let them. You have got to be absolutely bulletproof. You have got to be able to withstand all the demonic, evil, destructive ways of these people that don't know how to resolve. They breed resentment, they harbour bitterness, and all this resentment and bitterness, which could have all been fixed in a matter of minutes, which they harbour over months, gets its revenge against you through an outside person, an outside entity. They'll masturbate with themselves to make themselves feel better. It's relentless. They'll use their drugs to try and take away the pain. It's relentless. It doesn't stop. This is all the stuff that happens. They'll medicate, they'll whinge, and they just can't find peace. These are the most at war with themselves people that you could meet. They don't know what peace is. They don't know where to find it. They talk about peace and all this other stuff, and they pray for it. And while you're in peace with all this chaos going on, these people are falling apart. And because they're falling apart, they think you're falling apart. But it's quite the opposite. If you're self-aware and you know how all this works, you're far from falling apart. And you're watching all this destruction and the devil pull these people apart right in front of your eyes. Covert emotional incest manifest with covert narcissism. Because covert emotional incest is essentially always connected to covert narcissism or straight out narcissism. So what's my advice? You need to be 100% self-aware. You need to know that these things are probably going to happen. Because if they're not going to resolve as soon as somebody doesn't resolve an issue, be it with their children or whatever, and they've got excuses and all this other shit, number one, they're going to blame you in the end. You're going to get the blame for it, right? Whether it's you or not. They're denialists, and they've got to go back with some dignity to the children. So they'll go back and tell them, oh, I got rid of him because of what they did to you, etc. They'll tell bullshit to each other, and they live in a delusion. A lot of it's illusion and delusion. And they'll just go back to their default after they've tried to destroy you. But if you are aware of all this, you can just watch and go, well, I got mixed up with the wrong person. I did my best, and it just wasn't going to happen, because you're dealing with people that triangulate things, and it never ever works. They don't know boundaries. They don't know what boundaries are. They're dependent on their children. They're dependent. The children are dependent on them. They don't rely on their partners. They don't rely on their partners. They don't rely on the people that they're supposed to. They're enmeshed. They're enmeshed with each other, and it doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop, and that's how it is. That's just how it is. You can't change it. There's nothing you can do about it. They're enmeshed. They're enmeshed. And you will be left behind. That's how it works. You have to accept it. I'm trying to help you. That's why I do these videos. They're good people when they're left alone. But they cannot hold a long-term relationship. They just can't, because they're too enmeshed. It's just how it is. And you have to accept it. You have to accept it for what it is. This is Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison. Bye for now.